All our production lines fed into one strapper at the end. It was slow, it was manual, it backed everything up. Loads took 8 minutes each until we fixed it. Finished product piled up in the plant, storage space was wasted, we couldn't bring in enough raw material, and overtime was going up. Here's how I cut that load time in half. Quick wins first, then automation. I'm Brad with Murdoch Manufacturing. I started on weekend cleanup and rose to plant GM. Let's dive in. So I want to paint you a picture as to what this packaging department looks like. So a forklift driver would take all the loads that from the various lines and they would bring them over to the packaging department. And unfortunately, it was all manually run. So every time a load needed to be moved forward, the operator who's supposed to be strapping is just standing there pushing a button. Such a waste of time. The sucky thing is the way that you had to put the load on needed to be flipped once it came off. So again, it made no sense. Another part of it that was terrible was the ergonomics, as well as the tools. I'll get into the tools in just a second, but the ergonomics, the chains were up off the floor by about 3-4 feet. And it just so happened that the whole entire strapper and packaging area was at the same level as the chains. Maybe just 3 or 4 inches less, just so you don't get any snags. But you're bending over all the time, having to put the poly on and package it and to staple it. We had repetitive strainages. We had stuff coming up all the time that was causing harm to our employees. Then when it got finished being done, again, everything was done by push buttons. It all had to be done and held to let the airbags out for it to move. And of course, when the forklift driver picks it up at the other end, like I'd already mentioned, he then has to spin it so the tag's on the right way so he can put it away in the yard and we can see what product's on there. So this bottleneck obviously needed to be addressed. It was one of the first things that I noticed right when I took over of being the plant GM there. The embarrassing thing is that our customers would come in all the time to watch their product being run through the lines. And it was embarrassing because they would see their other runs that had been completed several weeks ago, still sitting on the floor, waiting for their time at the strapper. So there's 2 ways to go about fixing something like this. One was quick fixes that could give us fast results and speed things up. And the next was automation, which would increase things even that much more. We started with our quick wins. So let's get into that first. The quick wins that we went with was making it so that where the guy was actually packaging it, that whole entire section that he was standing on, and we cut it off so that our employee was standing now on the ground. And the load was actually at a height where he did not have to bend over a whole bunch more to do his work, almost none at all. So immediately that got rid of the pain that they were feeling when they were walking out the door, which was awesome. We had less injuries. Another thing that we did for a quick win was fixing our tools. The tools that we were using were all handheld tools, handheld staplers, trying to hold a little cardboard square and staple it at the same time onto the poly so it didn't rip. And it was very cumbersome and very, very slow. You'd have jam ups in the tools itself, constantly needing to get new staplers or different types of staples to see what would work, and nothing really did. It was a constant problem. So we sourced out a tool, a pneumatic tool that could all be used in just one nice motion. We got it on a balancer with a counterweight so it could just be floating there to just kind of hold it. And one smooth motion, and it's just putting it in all in one shot. Worked out phenomenal. People loved it, and it became so much faster. Those 2 quick fixes right there, ergonomics, it being at the right level, and a simple tool, pneumatic tool, instantly changed how quickly we could do something. Quick wins make fast results. So the next thing that we had to do was focus on automation. There's a lot that you can do in manufacturing settings. I think most people probably know that you can run things with limit switches and photo eyes and all these different great things that can just make things flow. So we started implementing that on our chains. We put limit switches and photo eyes. Everything would run automatically. The guillotine, we had this guillotine that would actually come down. It would tamp the loads for us right at the spot where we needed to do our first strap on the load. It would move out of the way and automatically run. It would get down to the end, and we even had an automatic turner on there that picked up the load, spun it around, and left it in the exact way that the forklift driver needed to pick it up to go put it away. So those are bigger fixes. They're gonna take more capital. If it can increase productivity, get things out the door faster, free up space on your plant floor like it did for us, the ROI on that is huge. So it's extremely important to do your due diligence when it comes to spending the capital. But when it comes to the quick wins, you're gonna see your biggest results there. Always do your quick wins first, reevaluate, see how quickly or how much an impact that has made to determine if you even need to do the bigger stuff where you're forking over the money. This is one issue that worked for me. There's been several issues that I've dealt with over the years, but this one made the most drastic improvement. An 8-minute load cut in half to 4 minutes. Most of it was actually done not by the automation. I mean, it definitely helped, but most of it was actually done by just the pneumatic tools and the quick fixes and just making things more ergonomic. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm Brad with Murdoch Manufacturing. Down in the comments in the description below, I'll be putting a link in there for my free phone call. If anyone wants to jump on, get some insight on how I can help you in whatever you're dealing with, if it's a project, if it's toxic management, if it's team building ideas, please get on a free 15-minute phone call. I'd love to help you. I'm not trying to sell you anything. It will just be straight talk. Also in the description is my toolkit. I've got a bunch of stuff in there that any plant manager, supervisor can use. Just click on the link. Google Docs that you can take, alter, use for your plant. It's completely free. I really hope that helps. Click on the link if you want it. I'm Brad Murdoch with Murdoch Manufacturing. Thank you so much for watching another video. For more real fixes on the plant floor, please hit subscribe and I'll see you in the next one.